Today we'd like to show you how to service your steam wand tip, and if it's leaking or sticky with the ball here, we'll show you how to get this apart and do a rebuild on that as well. The steam tip is removed pretty easily. And the holes in the steam tip are potentially plugged with milk. The Joe-Glo cleaning device has a pin for cleaning out the holes on the steam tip. If you go through each hole with the tip and the pin, push those through, double check inside that it's clean. If you need to, run it under some water, brush it out a little bit, pin it again, make sure your holes are nice and clear, you can see right through them. If you're experiencing some boil over or leakage around your steam wand nut, or if the steam wand is getting stiff and doesn't move nice and freely, then that's a fairly easy rebuild as well. The nut in the top can be removed with a wrench. Be careful not to scratch your machine's top surface, upper front panel. Potentially your gasket's going to stay behind. You can pick that out at this point. There's a spring in the top of this valve. Look inside the valve, make sure it's clean inside. This one happens to be clean. If there's anything in the valve, brush around inside and get out whatever's in it. If your machine is under pressure at this time, definitely don't pull on your steam wand, as you'll have water going straight up out of the valve. Remove the old gasket. Place the nut against the counter. The O-ring deforms against the ball so that it doesn't look exactly like the new round one going in. The new round one will deform the same as this one. This one started off the same as that. Clean all of the grease off of the ball. Make sure it's nice and smooth and shiny, doesn't have any issues on it. Use a food grade lubricant. This one's an NSF approved. It's good for 232 degrees Celsius. It's a synthetic grease made by Superlube. Doesn't take very much. Wipe a thin layer on the ball, make sure that there's plenty there. Inspect the inside of the nut, make sure there's not a lot of heavy debris internally. Put the wand nut back on. Put your new O-ring inside. Clean up your steam wand spool. Again with just a little bit of food grade grease. Back into the wand nut. New gasket. There's kind of a sharp edge and a rounded edge. It's easiest to put it on rounded edge first. Once that's started, spring back in the valve. You have to push this down a little bit to get it to catch the first thread. Once the first thread catches in there, then you can run it in with the wrench. It shouldn't be any stiffer than what it takes to compress the spring. You definitely don't want to be cross-threading this in. But there will be a little bit of force required to get the spring to compress as you go down. Again, be careful not to scratch up the upper material here on your front fascia. And this gets in pretty tight. You don't want to go easy on it. You want to get a good squeeze on that Teflon. Make sure this rotates nice and easy and stays where you put it. Screw your tip back on. Tighten a little past finger tight. Make sure all holes are blowing evenly clear and no water is coming around the top. And you're all set.